Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I haven't drank in a long time, but after today's episode, dog, I gotta take a swig. You gotta give me some Casamigos, some Henny, some Ciroc. I might even crack open the Everclear, because this right here was absolutely insane. First things first, what we have to talk about has to be Kurama. Kurama actually dying in this episode is going to be the biggest story. This right here needed to be a lot better than it was in the Boruto manga, and it was 10 to 100 times better. With the start of the scene, it was absolutely impeccable. It was Kurama and Naruto pretty much reminiscing about their first days together, how Naruto and Kurama's relationship grew, and not only that, how Naruto and Kurama grew individually. This right here was absolutely amazing. It had everybody reminiscing about the old times, not only Naruto Shippuden, but also the OG Naruto days when Kurama was essentially trying to take over Naruto's body, essentially trying to eat Naruto. At this particular time, when majority of the anime onlys are pretty much thinking that Naruto and Kurama is going to die, I'm pretty sure it brought a lot of tears to their eyes, man, because it wasn't just the flashbacks with Kurama. As I said, Naruto's flashbacks was there as well. It showed Naruto from day one to where he is now, essentially chronicling his improvement of being a no-good academy student to now becoming the strongest Kage that the world has ever seen, and of course defeating a character like Ishiki Yotsuki, which is essentially a god, the strongest character that we've ever really seen in the Naruto series, period. This right here was absolutely insane. And then when Kurama dropped the bomb, basically saying that he himself is going to be the only person that died and Naruto is going to stay alive, this right here, I'm pretty sure, drove another wrench into the Boruto anime only fans' hearts. The explanation that Kurama had for Naruto was impeccable. He was essentially saying that if he would have told Naruto from the get-go that only Kurama himself would die, Naruto would have probably not necessarily used it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the Naruto fans out there know he probably wouldn't have done that either. He probably would have tried to figure out a way to finish the fight with both of them coming out alive. This right here was absolute golden writing. I have to give up to Masashi Kishimoto, Kodachi too as well for starting this, but Masashi Kishimoto ended off really well. The most emotional scene from this right here though had to be the final part when Naruto was essentially crying out Kurama's name. I ain't gonna lie, I almost teared up a little bit, but I had to maintain my composure. But directly after that, with Naruto and his hands stretched out, you see Boruto grab Naruto's hands. Man, I ain't gonna lie, when it comes to actual writing, this right here was gold, peak fiction, bruh. But of course, the obvious thing coming off of this, when we do get past the emotional side of it, is going to be Naruto is now officially nerfed. One thing that we've all been saying for a very long time in regards to the manga viewers, even though Naruto is weaker, he's still the strongest ninja. Like, let's keep it a G. Some people might have an argument that Sasuke may be stronger, but let's keep it 100. Naruto and Sasuke are still the strongest characters. I think one of the best things that could possibly get people to understand this is back in the 4th grade Shinobi War, Naruto without Kurama literally almost killed Madara in like 2 hits. And that right there was just 17-year-old Naruto, wet behind the ears, breath still smelled like Similac. So after about 16 years of hardcore training, trying to become the Hokage, Naruto is like exponentially stronger than what he was back in the 4th grade Shinobi War. Now the next question is going to be, what's next for Naruto? Is Naruto going to get another power up? Is Naruto going to try to get another tail beast? Is Naruto going to now utilize some scientific technology? I'm going to make another video about that, detailing exactly what I personally think. But for this episode, there is a lot of other huge things. First things first, I want to talk about the fight scenes in the overall episode. It looked pretty. It looked absolutely impeccable. I mean, when I looked at the staff, I was surprised. I didn't think it looked that good, and I basically called it a borderline dream team. Now I might even say it's just a flat out dream team, because the episode looked absolutely impeccable. Not only that, there was like an emphasis on the eyes. Like every single scene where we seen eyes, they just looked absolutely crisp. The animation, as I said, was crisp. Choreography was crisp. It looked very good. Ishiki Yotsuki's death in this episode was done impeccably as well. Kawaki was like the catalyst behind Ishiki Yotsuki's death. Specifically in this episode, we understand that Baryon, Naruto, and Sasuke did most of the work, but this right here was a huge episode for Kawaki in my personal opinion. This episode, a lot of the Naruto diehards, people that don't necessarily watch Boruto, people who haven't necessarily seen Kawaki, actually tune into the past 2 or 3 episodes just because of the sheer fact that Naruto was the guy. So Kawaki basically ending Ishiki Yotsuki with a very smart move, a shadow clone jutsu, even through in the fire style jutsu. In my personal opinion, one of the most important things that Kawaki did in this particular episode was give a lot of praise to Naruto, basically saying that Naruto made him whole, basically saying that Naruto gave him a purpose. That right there was very huge, and I'm pretty sure that right there probably ingratiated Kawaki with a lot of the Naruto diehard fans out there. But as I said earlier, this episode right here was peak fiction. How Kawaki finished off Ishiki Yotsuki was a surprise in itself. No one really thought that Kawaki would possibly learn the shadow clone jutsu, something that's literally like an S rank jutsu jutsu being used by a character that never really manipulated chakra before. And not only that, we seen the fire style jutsu, and the crazy part about the fire style jutsu, he actually used the prosthetic arm, the limp prosthetic arm, to actually weave the hand signs for that jutsu. This right here definitely reminds me of like a scene where Sasuke used the fire style jutsu back in the final battle versus Naruto, when he was actually using Naruto's hand for the fireball jutsu. But one thing that I have to mention in this review, Ishiki Otsutsuki's character was amazing. I think hands down, not even in regards to strength, Ishiki Otsutsuki is the best Otsutsuki member that we've ever seen. In regards to storyline, in regards to power, in regards to characteristics, in regards to planning, cunning, and stuff like that, Ishiki Otsutsuki was the best by far. Of course, Momoshiki's story is not necessarily done being written, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. Ishiki Otsutsuki is one of the only Otsutsuki members that had a well thought out plan, had a full team behind him, the Kata organization, not necessarily weak characters, and Ishiki Otsutsuki was the only good character. He had characters like Delta, characters like Kashin Koji, a clone of Jiraiya, characters like that. I mean, it was absolutely impeccable. I have to give it to Ishiki Otsutsuki. Now, one important thing that I definitely do want to point out about Ishiki Otsutsuki, his legacy is not done. We're still going to hear about Ishiki Otsutsuki. Ishiki Otsutsuki is still going to be in the storyline of Boruto, because Ishiki Otsutsuki's impact throughout the whole series is just that great. Now, the last thing that I definitely do want to talk about has to be Borushiki, the big fight that happened during this episode. This right here was absolutely amazing. When I seen this in the boards of manga for the first time, I was absolutely stunned. Borushiki made the grand entrance by completely and utterly destroying Sasuke's Rinnegan, basically following the legendary saying, an eye for an eye. Sasuke destroyed one of Momoshiki's Rinnegans, Momoshiki destroyed one of Sasuke's Rinnegan. Now, similar to Naruto, the big thing about this is going to be the fact that Sasuke also got nerfed, and is Sasuke also going to possibly stay the same? Is Sasuke going to gain another power up? Is Sasuke going to get another arm? Is Sasuke going to repair his Rinnegan? Is Sasuke just going to get a brand new scientific dojutsu? A whole bunch of questions that I'm probably going to answer in another video coming up. But not only that, another big thing about this episode, and what we've pretty much been leading up to even before the Ishiki Otsutsuki's fight, was Sasuke's willingness to actually kill Boruto. Coming into a battle like this, Boruto's #1 reservation was him potentially turning to Borushiki and injuring and possibly even killing people that he himself loved. And Sasuke vowed from that particular episode that if he has to, he would actually try to kill Borushiki. Now, this specific fight right here, just like everything else, was absolutely amazing. The animation was there, a good team that we did see. Kawaki and Sasuke going up against Borushiki, the emo kid from Boruto plus the emo kid from Naruto, basically teaming up. Hopefully we get to see another team up like that again in the future. And not only that, another part of the entertainment that actually added to this specific scene right here, it was the fact that we had absolutely no idea what was going to happen to Naruto after that particular fight. But during this battle, something that I think we didn't necessarily see in the Boruto manga, I might be wrong, man, because I didn't actually see it. I wanted to come into this like kind of raw. I of course seen the chapter before, but I wasn't necessarily fully caught up. Borushiki actually tried to take Kawaki to a completely other dimension. This right here would have been absolutely terrible. Good thing that Boruto actually did step in, and good thing that Kawaki did think smart on his feet. One of the things that Kawaki did was try to set himself on fire, and here's where we did actually get to see the first chink in Borushiki's armor, and essentially the main weakness from Momoshiki in this Borushiki transformation. Borushiki cannot, and I mean cannot, have a lot of chakra and still sustain that mode. If that is the case, Boruto will inevitably take back over the body, which is what we've seen in this particular episode, which is a very smart thing from Sasuke and also Kawaki as well, basically setting himself on fire. They basically understood that Borushiki kind of refused to actually absorb chakra even though he had the karma seal, so that right there was very, very odd. Now, another big thing that happened during this actual scene, Boruto ripped off his horn. This right here was very interesting to me personally, man, because after he ripped off the horn, it seemed that Boruto had even more control over that form. Now, it might be a certain situation where Momoshiki was just going crazy, man, because it's just an aesthetic thing. It's probably only cosmetics, which means that Momoshiki just values the way that he actually looks and wishes that he has the horn, because one thing that we do understand is that once the horn is actually broken off or actually cut off, it doesn't really grow back. So that right there might be the reason that Momoshiki was going crazy, but it's also a very good possibility that that right there actually relinquishes some control that Momoshiki has over that Borushiki shaky form. And if that is the case, that could possibly be a very good reason as to why Momoshiki in the future still hasn't necessarily taken over Boruto's body. Now, another big problem that Boruto is going to have moving forward is the fact that he can't necessarily be put in situations where he's going to lose a significant amount of chakra, which is probably going to be damn near all battles. I think one of the most popular ways to actually fix this problem is giving Boruto a tail beast, potentially even making Boruto a Jinchuriki and sealing a tail beast inside of him. That right there would give Boruto a completely other separate pool of chakra to kind of ensure the fact that he himself wouldn't necessarily run out of chakra. Well, in extreme circumstances, he probably still run out of chakra, but I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, probably 99% of the time, he would not be in danger of running out of chakra no matter what situation they put him in. But let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comment section below. Again, I think it was absolutely impeccable. Boruto went 3 for 3. Boruto episode 216, 217, 218 was absolutely impeccable. This right here was like the best 3-episode streak that I've seen in the Naruto history so far. This right here was absolutely insane. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. It's been your boy BarB, and we out.
It's a knife.